How do you pronounce bloober?
Bloober.
Not British.
Bloober.
Bloober?
Bloober.
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 Weird week here on the internet. There was a Silent Hill showcase on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, a Resident Evil showcase. Silent Hill Transmission, the show that keeps you informed about Silent Hill, was 35 minutes long. And then the Resident Evil showcase was 27 minutes long. Just for Silent Hill, just for Resident Evil. That's too long. I don't have patience for anything anymore. And yet, I watched these showcases for scary games I'm not actually interested in playing, but I was interested in what they had to say, I guess. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. If you've been scrounging around Reddit rumors for the last 3 years, you pretty much knew exactly what to expect from the Silent Hill transmission. But here's what I did not expect. Why did they do this? Why did they work so hard on this presentation? And I think the answer is they have to. Because, let's face it, Resident Evil is bigger than Silent Hill. Like Silent Hill, I think, is better regarded, maybe, because of Silent Hill 2. And it has a maybe more mythical quality to it, because it's taken so many years off, and there was PT/Silent Hills. But it's inarguable that Resident Evil is more popular than Silent Hill. And so Silent Hill has to work harder to get our attention. They have to place themselves in the middle of a foggy street. And I love it. So along with showing off new merchandise and storyboards for a movie adaptation of Silent Hill 2, Konami announced 4 new Silent Hill video games. So first is a remake of Silent Hill 2 by Bloober Team. This was heavily rumored. Not much of a surprise, but here it is. This is what it looks like. To be honest with you, I think this is a terrible debut trailer. It starts off great. It starts off here and you're checking out these environments. Then just a lot of this guy's face, James. Lots of James face. They presume, I guess, that you're gonna care about this man's face this much. When it was I liked seeing the back of James. And then, of course, it ends with the most iconic character in all of Silent Hill, this guy, who I learned through this presentation is not named Pyramid Head, but Red Pyramid Thing, which to me sounds much cooler, and I'm happy to adapt. Anyway, so far I don't like the marketing for Silent Hill 2 remake at all. At least what they're choosing to focus on. Here's the key art. Who is this appealing? This is meant to be a scary game. Why is there this big head here? Find me. Second game is Silent Hill Townfall, which Annapurna is, I guess, co-publishing with an indie studio called No Code. Limited details. Expect a narrative-heavy experience. Here's what the trailer was like.
I think you're here for some other reason. And I don't want to be anywhere near you when you figure that out.
And I'd like to take a moment to make an exception for this title, Townfall. Because, you know how I feel about video game titles that are noun plus fall. Townfall, I think, is actually kind of evocative. It's kind of interesting because it is preceded by Silent Hill, which is a town. I don't know. Redfall doesn't do anything for me. Godfall, boring. Townfall, oh no. What happened to that town? I think it's the specificity that's important. If you insist on having a video game title that is a noun plus a fall, it must be specific. If it's a generic noun, the fall doesn't do anything for it. It washes off. You show up with a game called like Hexfall. That Hexfall means nothing to me. If it's something specific, like Cookie Factory Fall, I gotta know. I gotta know what happens. Buddy. Silent Hill number 3 is Silent Hill Ascension from Bad Robot and Genvid. Again, limited details, but it seems to be some sort of live streaming integrated experience where viewers can impact the actual canonical lore of this Silent Hill game. Here's what J.J. Abrams has to say about it. Genbid's experience presents a wild, epic, and innovative new way to immerse yourself in the horrors of Silent Hill. So we'll stay tuned. And we know. They know. Nobody wants this game to be called Ascension. Obviously, they had a list of several, probably 10 video game titles before Ascension, but it's just the one that they had to end up with. Don't make fun. It's like making fun of somebody with braces. Just don't. And finally, the fourth new Silent Hill game, Silent Hill F. And again, limited details, but famed creepy visual novel author Ryukishi 7 is attached to it. And then there's this. So that's something. That's something. So, Konami went through great lengths to make us all excited about the future of the revitalization of the Silent Hill franchise. And still, it was all outshone by the Resident Evil showcase, which was just to talk about 3 things we already knew about. The DLC expansion to Resident Evil 8, the multiplayer game Reverse, which is still happening and actually starting soon, and then Resident Evil 4 Remake, which now does have a release date of March 24th, 2023, which is more than any of those Silent Hill games could say. Each trailer was preceded by Game Awards style, the words world premiere, and these also included some jack-o'-lanterns, I think just for the spirit. And it was all presented by these interstitials narrated by the merchant from Resident Evil 8, who told us, the audience, that we're greedy little piggies for wanting more trailers.
What's that? You want more? What a greedy thing you are.
To be clear to all future video game presenters, that's good stuff. And then, of course, Resident Evil 4 had its first good trailer. It had its first good chunk of raw gameplay, and thereby won the week. Let's look at the scoreboard. Yeah, so that's Capcom 10,000, Konami 0. They could still catch up, but really both of these overly long presentations for these classic horror franchises are weird. And they're great because they're acting like they're not weird, like it's normal to do this kind of thing. And I'm so grateful for it. That seems like such a uniquely video games kind of thing. I mean, the Silent Hill transmission on YouTube was live in 360p. It looked like this to me. And I didn't even care. I think it's just this abundance of presentational style that takes something like this from I don't have time for this all the way to I have nothing better to do. Happy to watch. Speaking of happy to watch, that's it for Delayed Input this week. Thanks for watching. Everyone in this factory knows these walls aren't up to code. It's no secret. It's just a matter of time before this whole place collapses. See, some of us can't find work anywhere else. Some of us are praying to be crushed to death so our families can live off the eventual settlement. But I see you. I see the way you sniff. You're here for the smell, aren't you? You can't get enough of the scent of 10,000 cookies being baked all at once. Just take my advice. Plug your big nose. Because, oh shit, it's starting now.